I've realized recently that I've been talking about the good results I've been getting from the cold outreach process, but I never actually walked you through the entire process in a video, so you know exactly what I'm doing. I spoke about some parts in a video and then finished it in another, and I want to have here on YouTube exactly what I do from the beginning to the actual sending of the messages. I've seen a lot of people in the past 2 weeks on Instagram and YouTube saying that cold outreach doesn't work and it's a bad option to find clients because you'll get a lot of no's and a lot of people will ignore you. And I just don't agree with that, only because I have such good results until now with this method of finding clients. I'm not gonna say that it's better than paid ads or any other thing people might do for getting clients, but certainly I can say it's not useless and it does work, because I've gotten 2 to 3 clients until now. I'm gonna talk about the third one. I'm in talks with him right now, and I'm gonna tell you more about it at the end of the video. And now let's get into the actual process of cold outreach. Obviously you are gonna face a lot of rejection. A lot of people will tell you that they are not interested and you'll have to deal with that. But other than the emotional part, you just have to send more and more DMs until you actually find a pattern that works for you, and from then on you just know it works and you don't have to stress that people won't answer to you, because you know that what you are doing is right and maybe they're just not the right people to work with you. I actually checked how many DMs I've sent until now, and there were 135 messages, and from those I received 30 answers, which is a pretty good response rate, so I can guarantee it works up to some point. Before getting into telling you the actual steps I'm following in this process, if you don't know who I am, I'm Alex, a 17-year-old entrepreneur, and I started my web design agency 8 months ago, started working with WordPress and Elementor, and found my first client, which was a salon that I worked for free, but eventually I received $80 for my work. And now I'm using Claude code to build the website and actually find clients. Now I'll let you get back to the process. Let's start with the first part of the process, which is actually finding the businesses to DM. I do that using an app I built with Claude code that connects to Apify, which is another tool that connects to Instagram. And in the app I have the follower count, so the range I want the businesses to have the followers in. Afterwards I put the hashtags I want to search for. I introduce the previous Excels that I've worked with, so I don't end up seeing the same businesses again and again. And one last thing, the number of leads I want put in that Excel, and then I hit run and it comes back to me in 15 minutes with, let's say, 100 leads put into an Excel. And also in that Excel there is put the external link the account has in the bio, like if they have a website it will be put there, and then I can check it. The next step, I go manually over the links that the tool put in the Excel. So the possible website links, I check all of them to see how good the existing website looks, or if they just don't have one. And based on what I see, I make some notes in the Excel for Claude to use later when actually writes the DMs. And I do that manually. It's not worth putting Claude to do it because I don't save much time, and in this way I make sure that the output is actually correct and I don't have to worry about Claude judging a website the wrong way. For the third step, I built a Claude skill myself, and what the skill basically does is go to Instagram and check the last 10 posts and choose a specific one and make a compliment about it, and that's the hook of the message. And for the website, you have to tell them like what's wrong with the current one, or if they don't have one, just say it. If they have one, Claude uses what I told in what I Claude uses what I said in the notes about the website. Like I specify most of the time the problem that I found, and it tells them that. Afterwards, I propose them what a good website would look, and then the call to action would be, are you open to talk about this? And this is the structure of the DM that Claude follows, and it writes pretty good DMs most of the time. But in order to make sure that the compliments and the entire message sounds human, I also recently started putting it through Codex, which is the Claude Code version of ChatGPT, and I put it through that to check it to not sound AI written, and in that way I make sure I get the best messages possible and I don't have to check them a lot manually. I still go over all of those before I send them, but most of the time I don't have anything to change, so I save a lot of time by doing this process, this method of writing the DMs. I'm really glad I thought of it, and I really recommend building a skill with Claude Code that can do the same thing and write in the same language that you would. It saves just a lot of time. And now the final step before sending the DMs would be to go through that entire Excel list and look at the Instagram accounts and follow each one, like a couple posts, so Instagram doesn't see this activity as an automation, which is obviously what it is, but you don't want to make it look like that, so you interact a bit with the account before, and after 2 days after you've done that, you can send the DM. At least that's what I do, and then wait for the answer. If I don't get an answer within 3 or 4 days, I send a light follow-up saying I hope they received the message or something similar, and that's it. I hope you find this information useful, because I certainly am glad that I found this method and it's currently working really well for me. Obviously, I'm gonna try in the future paid ads, because everyone is saying that it's a great way to find clients, and I also think that because you can make an offer that's really good and share it to a lot of people, so you don't have to do it each time for every message like I do now. And now the last thing, I promised you at the beginning of the video that I'm gonna tell you about the next possible client that I'm in the stalking stage with. So it's a restaurant that answered to my message where I told them I could build a demo website. They agreed, and I sent them the website I built in 2 days. I did it really quick because I had no other really important thing to do, and also Claude Code helps a lot with that. It speeds up the process 10 times, and I sent them the demo website together with the entire offer and all of those things that I've talked in a previous video, with the Alex Hormozy lessons, the Grand Slam offer. I applied that method and I sent all of that to them. They've seen the message after 2 days and they still haven't answered. I will follow up in about a day or two to see if they had a chance to check the website, but that's it. I asked for the most amount of money until now, $450. I hope it's not too much, but I think it's worth it, since I'm gonna be building them a booking platform integrated in the website. Everyone that I've talked to told me it's worth it, so I'm gonna have to see what they think. The only thing I'm scared of is for them to see the message, like the demo, but think it's too much to pay that price and then not even tell me that, and then I don't know what actually happened in their mind. That's my main concern, but other than that, I can only hope they answer positively to my messages, and hopefully I get my third client besides the copywriter and the interior design business. In a couple of days I have to message also the copywriter to see if it's okay to start working, because you might know already, when I talked initially with her, she said that she will want to work in June, because back in April she didn't have time to do it and also didn't have the budget. So I'm gonna see what I'll do with that. God, I really need to find a place where I could talk freely and sit down, because right now I'm usually out of breath when I'm talking. It's hard to talk while moving, and here I can't fucking sit down because it's so fucking dirty. But I also don't have time to go to a place where I can film with a bench, because most of the places are really loud, like besides the road where are the benches, and I don't have time to go to the park I'm usually filming in, because right now I skipped a couple classes at my school to come here and film the video and then go to the gym and then start working. So it's complicated to balance the quality of the videos and the time and all of these things. It's just hard to find the time to film, because I have to find a place where it's quiet. Also, ideally I would have to sit down so I'm not out of breath when I'm talking. I didn't manage to do that today, obviously. I had good content planned for today, like good information. I wish I could sit down and focus more on the actual talking and making sure I don't have a monotone tone in my voice. Like, I changed the pitch of my voice and the speed and all the things like that to make the video more entertaining to watch and not boring and monotone. Like I said, it's complicated to play with my voice while I also hold the phone I'm walking, because I have ADHD and I can't stand still. But yeah, enough with the complaining. I'll try next time to do better. Obviously, every time I try to focus on how I'm speaking to get better at it. I don't know if it's a lot better than when I started, but I'm just trying my best, and for me that's enough. I'm also gonna be launching my website soon, so excited to finally be able to put it online after all the work I put into it. Since I got all that money from the interior design client, I can now pay for the hosting. It wasn't that I didn't have money, I just didn't want to pay for it with my own money. I wanted to use the money I make with the business. So excited to put it out there finally. And you know what's the best thing about making all this money? Besides growing the business, I can finally take my family out to dinner. Like, if I end up closing this third client, the restaurant, and I make $450, I'm definitely gonna take them out to dinner. And imagine I just go to the waiter while I go to the bathroom and take care of the bill before my dad does it. It's just gonna be amazing. That's the better part of making all the money, not necessarily buying things for myself, buying a new phone, a new laptop, but the things that I can do for them. This is like a dream, to be able to buy them something like a dinner. It's just amazing. But that's all for today, and I really hope you enjoyed it and found it useful. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you have something to tell me, and I will see you in the next one.